All right. Check. Looks like everything's working. How's everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Let's go over and switch over. First, let's get some music going. Actually, I could do both at the same time. Hello, everyone. I usually just do house, and I literally just scroll. And if I don't like it, I'll skip it. But hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on when you're watching this, whether you're tuning in live or watching the replay. How y'all doing? Of course, like the market always likes to do. As soon as I make a live stream or as soon as I post, the market just wants to go ahead and just go, okay, now that you said what you had to say, do exactly what you wanted to do. Well, not necessarily in this case, but at least be exciting. So let's go over and talk about what's happening, what I'm currently thinking, and kind of give you guys kind of a bigger idea slash like bigger, how do I say this? Much more of like different ideas. I can't think of a word, to be honest. But how's everyone doing? So, let's go ahead and talk about it. So first things first, I believe we were here. It was 2 days ago. Yeah, the 12th. So we were literally dancing in this region up here before we ended up dumping. And I kind of talked about a couple things. For BTC and particularly, I didn't necessarily catch this at first. Someone pointed this out to me after I streamed. I think it was like maybe later that day. It's something that sometimes you have to consider. I necessarily don't like to look at stuff like this. I believe it was something like that trend line. It's not exact. I don't remember where he showed me. Someone sent me a screenshot. But he was like, be aware of this trend line. I said, okay, that's fine. But to me, I would want to see a bigger structure to the test of the upside before I can get bullish. On occasion, this does happen. It's happened. I don't remember where. It might have been somewhere like here. I'm going to try my best to connect this. Something like that. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was a trend line here that kind of used that as a good resistance, and it did reject. In this situation, I did not get the best entry possible, but I did short this. In an ideal situation, I was looking for higher. Didn't happen. Something like that. I did take a short off of this entry here. So from there, it's kind of a similar situation, but unfortunately there was no previous setup beforehand to actually give you an opportunity to short on BTC, in my opinion. There was a lot of people out there who, I'm not trying to call anyone out, but some people have asked me, what do you think of like setups like this? And me personally, something like this, I'm just like, dude, this is way too small for me. If you were playing this setup, you would have got it wicked out. Depending on the stop loss, I'm not really too sure if you would have got wicked out necessarily multiple times. If you were being reasonable with your R&R, you probably would have got stopped out twice. So good on you if you did take that. That was definitely the short to be in. But me personally, I did not see anything that could give me a good signal or good position to short. This is just basically this continuous trend up. I would ideally I would have want to see something like this possibly. Then I would have considered taking that. But even still, like when I go out to a 30-minute and above, when I kind of look at that example on a bigger, broader time frame, it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's something I would definitely consider taking. But unfortunately, that did not happen. We just kind of just consolidated all the way up here and just faked everyone out looking at this trend line. And it kind of goes into the mentality of why ABCs work. The reason why ABCs work is, I talk about this in the Discord that I run, a couple of the tutorial videos that I put together for the Discord. And one of the things I mentioned is the reason why ABCs work so well is a lot of people who are trading in general tend to use the same kind of methods, not exact, but the same methodology. They'll look at patterns, support and resistance, and they'll trade off of that, off of those levels. And one of the most common things that newer traders do is they like to trade breakouts. They don't necessarily favor, I wouldn't say favor, but it's an easy strategy to keep, trying to trade breakouts, the upside to the downside. In this case scenario, this would have been a break, false, nope, got rejected. Would have tried trading this one, it would try to break above it, false, rejected. Same thing, try to trade to break out here, we would have got rejected a couple times. Definitely gotten stopped out multiple times on that setup, and the same thing here. And it kind of goes against the herd, and that's one of the things I preach. Regardless of what you actually decide to trade, just make sure that it's not something that everyone else is doing. Even when it comes to indicators, me personally, I don't necessarily like to use them that much, is because one of the reasons is that a lot of people who use them are pretty much using them in the exact same way or very similarly, to the point to where those indicators pretty much become useless. That's just my opinion. That's subject to change. Nothing has led me to change my opinion yet, but just based off experience, I'm not knocking anyone who does do it. I just personally think people use them for the wrong reasons. You can use them in conjunctions in certain scenarios, but don't let indicators inhibit your trading decisions. Especially if you're using something like the ABC method, where it's just pretty much plain Jane, no, I'm just using price as, basically price is my indicator. Price creates levels for me, and those are the levels I decide to trade. So, unfortunately, to wrap things up, I did not catch that short. So what's next? So when I zoom out on a larger term scale, the main things that I see are the following. One, there's there's three main positions that I'm looking for right now. One is based off of this being an A to a B to a C. From there, I can go ahead and try to long this level here. Once price gets back below, and then, once price gets below, once it returns above this line, I will go ahead and possibly take this. I'm a little reluctant to actually do that, is for the following reasons. Is one, we're so close to this more I would call it more of a macro low, or it's more the lowest low of BTC since, what is this, last few months. So for me, this is a major level to come and test, especially as we continue to decline. This seems more of like a pullback, and then now I feel like the momentum is going to be shifting to the downside primarily. I'm not dead set on this. There's a couple variations of what could happen here. One of the things I see as a possibility as well is the same thing, but maybe we come up and form another high to kind of create this larger ABC. Definitely also in the cards as well. That's something that I will lean more bearish on if it does happen. I'm bearish about like maybe 70-30 right now. For me, the structure looks more clear, concise when you draw everything to the downside. It seems like it's a more viable setup. I always like to say I'm never dead set on anything. I like to keep my windows open, my options open, but as of now, that's primarily what I see. The other alternative is, I kind of mentioned it before, is that this was a much larger, let me get to like a larger time frame here. This was a much larger A to a B to a C, and now, like I always mentioned before, is that every wave is going to have some sort of subwave. The structure itself might not be clear or it might not be perfect, but there is a setup within each wave, I would argue, especially in this kind of choppy price action. You can definitely determine a bigger A to a B to a larger C. So that's mostly the major low I'm looking to test. Besides that, let me mark out these levels for you guys just in case. I might do something, or I might take a half position off of this test here. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'll go ahead and roll the dice and see what happens. I don't know, but to me, oh, you know what? That's the wrong thing. I wanted to use the price tool. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But 18,450, and then the absolute test of the low is like that 17,6. I don't know, like 615, 600 around there. Primarily, that's what I'm looking for. Those are the two levels I'm looking along. The other thing that's also kind of in the cards, I'm not necessarily, like I said, I don't like to, how do I say this? I'm not particularly a fan of this setup, but I also understand that this can absolutely be a situation that can happen as well. Is that maybe perhaps this is an A to a B, and then we're still working on a C, to where we kind of come down here and we slowly or have some sort of setup to break this high. If that happens, this is where my decision making gets a little bit skewed, is because I want to have a bullish bias. I personally think if price is going to continue up from here, that this is a place to bottom, and kind of range. But also, you know, I've talked about this before. I'm also on the side of, I can easily see this being put in. I can easily see BTC putting in another low, to where we form an actual much larger ABC to the downside. I'm content with both options. I don't know whether I'm going to short if price does want to continue going upwards. I have to kind of play it by cards, not play it by cards, play it by ear, and kind of just see what hand is dealt to me. What does price look like? What does the setup look like? I probably will take it, and I probably will approach it in a way that I'm going to take some sort of partial position, half position. I don't know. I'll play it by ear, and we'll see what we get up there. That's if we even get up there. But like I said before, my primary positions are these two lows to test. Until then, that's pretty much it. Let's talk about something that I did do and I'm currently doing. Is, now I mentioned before with BTC did not have a clear ABC setup for me to take, so I personally couldn't short this this dump here. So I did not like this consolidating, upward moving, channeling price action. There's really no good setup. I can't sit here to even draw an ABC on this time frame that makes sense. So in my head, in certain situations, I like to think, if this is going to dump, where is a possible entry? If I can't find it on BTC, I will look to somewhere like ETH, Litecoin, something smaller, and try to take a position off of that. Now, if you go to ETH, paints a little bit of a different picture. ETH has a much larger, more clear and concise ABC setup here. I drew the A in the wrong spot. Right here. There you go. And to me, I'm willing to take a short off of this ABC here, just in case price decided to dump. Now, I did play this and I got wicked out a couple times. Unfortunately, I don't know why. It just, in this spot, in this area, price was going crazy. My orders did not get filled at the right area, so I also accidentally took a double position. Bybit wasn't refreshing. I thought I missed out. Set another limit order to catch the pump, ended up getting filled, and then got stopped out on basically two positions at once. So in total, I think I got stopped out 4 times using a 1% stop on BTC. Now, that's even more aggressive. I should be using like a 1.5%, 2% on ETH. Or no, I said BTC before. Excuse me, ETH. I should be using like a 1.5%, 2% on ETH. But for me, I didn't even bother changing my leverage. I was okay with losing. And let's talk about the bigger setup, the bigger picture, what I see for ETH and what the possibilities are. Pretty much it's the same thing as before. Is ultimately this is one larger ABC, all right, which creates an initial downtrend. That downtrend breaks. I'm now looking for a pullback, And within this, there's an ABC, like I showed you before. And now I want to see a test of this low here at 1421. Now, for me, I know ETH likes to, how do I say this, move differently than BTC. So even though I think BTC could form a new low, I don't think ETH is going to come down all the way here. So I'm a little bit more, I'm not dead set on this position. I'm a little bit more like willing to take profit at the test of the low. And for me, that's a 15. So at the end of the day, that's still a good setup for me to take. It's a good position to take. I will take that all day. So as long as ETH is below that 1785 region, I'm remaining in shorts. I will continue to hold those. I did get stopped out on BTC. I forgot to mention that as well. Let's go back to that quick. So on BTC, I was long here and here. I took a position 50-50 between the two entries. So it brought me to an average of about, like, I would say around here. Average around there, and I ended up getting stopped out somewhere down here. So for me, that game plans remains the same. BTC comes back above here, I will take a half entry. Regardless of what I just told you guys, regardless if I feel bearish or not, I'm still taking that long based off of this ABC, because I don't know if price is going to put in a lower low, or at least continue lower. Nothing's guaranteed. For me, I go based off of levels, and basically the levels tell me if BTC wants to be bullish or not. So, but I'm more willing to not go in a full position because of that. So that's pretty much it. I did not catch up on chat. Vlad, hey Vlad, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by. I don't know when you sent that message. I hope it wasn't in the beginning. I'm sorry. I apologize if that was the case. How you doing, buddy? Look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow around this time. Power Peach, yo, how you doing? How about you, sir? I'm doing pretty good. It was a beautiful day outside weather-wise. Can't complain about that. Now that summer's starting to cool down, I love my in-between seasons. You know, fall and spring are my time to shine. Is my time to shine. I don't like summer, don't like winter. So, you know, this is where I'm at the most peace and most happiness, when it's nice and like 75 degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at. Work is work. Nothing usual. Besides that, being productive, just kind of always researching, learning other things, looking at other things. Do my best to stay busy. Love t-shirt and hoodie weather too. Oh, absolutely. Hoodie and jeans all the way. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just go over a couple things that, you know, some things did change. I want to give you guys a chance to ask any questions you guys might have. This is gonna be, I'm gonna let you know, this is not gonna be a longer stream like it was on Monday. You guys are amazing on Monday. We talked here for 2 hours. You guys are asking great questions. I appreciate every single one of you for contributing. Even if you didn't ask questions, saying hello, stopping by, watching, it means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. But unfortunately, I do have to cut out around like another 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to continue to go through some of these coins. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I know there's a couple of you guys watching. Please feel free to ask me anything. It could be ABC, it could be trading in general, it could be anything. Basically we're off limits here. So I am an open book today for the time being. So let's continue going over. The only thing I saw, like a couple of variations of certain setups, LTC had a massive setup. I like this a lot. If BTC wants to go ahead and put in a lower low, I don't know how big or how much of a move this is going to be called for, but that is a beautiful ABC to an A. All right, and then there's an ABC to a B, and then a very choppy ABC to a C. Now, let me just clear that up. And as long as LTC is below at 65.80 region, I would remain short. Take profit. You know what? In a situation like this, I will go ahead and pull the fibs just to kind of ballpark it. Okay. So the 0.5 lines up with this local low. I think that's a good area to take profit on. Now, that really depends on what the R&R looks like. Let's just plot this out. Now, with LTC, I do like taking a 1.5%. And I can tell this is going to be a nice one. Yeah, 14. This would have been a setup I would take all day. I don't know if LTC is going to put in a lower low, but based off going off of fibs. Now, remember, I only use fibs when it comes to much larger structures. And to me, I'm on a 4-hour. I'm completely zoomed out. For me, this is a much larger setup. I'm going to be a lot more. I'm going to be leaning towards taking fibs or taking profit based off of certain fib levels. But notice how I kind of aligned that idea with using the range of the local low. Which to me, the local low is at about, the exact point is at 51.68. But you also got to understand that these lows and highs are mostly regions. They're not exact price pivots or price points. So if LTC can get down in this range, I would say that's a good trade if you guys are in an LTC short. Fortunately, I did not catch this. I did not spot this fast enough to tell the group or any of you guys who follow me on Discord or in David's Discord. I did not post this setup for certain reasons. It was too late, and one, I didn't think that was going to come up and test it. Now, if price came back up and tested that area, I'd say, guys, go ahead and try this. But I didn't feel comfortable, or I didn't want to say anything until that opportunity was there. This because I don't want people just to jump into shorts because I said to go short. All right. BCH. All right. So BCH, I mean, I can see this. That happening. Well, actually, wait, is this the lowest low? Yeah, it's the lowest low. So not the best. I would say if price can get below and then back above that 110, I say go for it. Go ahead and take that long. Use reasonable R&R though. Don't be too aggressive with this, especially with anything that's not BTC. I would say minimum 2%. And once you get to some of these lower cap coins, now when I say lower cap, mind you, all these coins that you see on this list are either in the top 10 or have a good amount of liquidity in them to the point to where it's not going to fluctuate that much. But it's still going to be a little bit less stable than BTC. So give yourself a little bit of breathing room when it comes to setting up these trades. I would say for BCH, go ahead. I would say maybe like a 3%. I feel like that's fair. Let me see what were the target be if we hit the 0.5. I don't know. I'm just gonna go based off of. So somewhere in this region. Okay, that's not terrible for a 3% stop loss. I would go ahead and possibly take that. XMR. All right, XMR looks like it wants the bigger structure that makes sense to me right now is something like this. But I'm also aware that this could be A to a B to a C, to where we get a bigger setup like that. Now, I don't know if it's going to go exactly that far low. I just want to paint a bit bigger picture for you guys. So, for me, the level... Ah, shit. That's not what I want. The level I would want to see price to come up to before I consider shorting is at 173. The low, I would want it to break and then come back above for me to go ahead and take a long off of is like that 170. 141 and a quarter. 141.25, 141.30. If price can get below there and then come back up, I would go ahead and take that. Remember, don't be too aggressive. Give yourself a little bit of breathing room when it comes to setting up these positions. Just because they tend to move on these smaller coins, they tend to move a little bit more aggressively, or the percentage moves are a little bit bigger. So just keep that in mind. Yosef, what are your hodl coins? Pretty much the basics. BTC. I do have a good amount of ETH. Not too much. I'm trying to think what else I have. I do hold some XMR, and that's, you know, I can thank Kite for that. He kind of turned me on to that. I DCA'd. I need a more chart history. Now, originally, I remember I was going off of local lows. I DCA'd down here. Not much, like maybe like a fraction of a percent at the time. I bought a little bit more when it came to this area. I bought a good amount here. So if I had to guess, like total acquisition of XMR out of my portfolio, maybe 5%, 6%, less than 10. I know that for sure. So I want you guys to realize something. Out of my entire stack that I have, I would say I'm actively hodling about 25 to 30% of that. Might be a little bit more, maybe closer to 50. I'd say like 40%. I have to go back and check, but because I haven't checked my portfolio in a while. About 40%. The rest is just sitting in a mixture of stable coins. I'm not going to say which ones, obviously, but the main ones that have been around for a while. So that's the main. That's pretty much all majority of what I have, or hodl wise. I don't have any. I do have some like some money set aside for swing trades. I have a swing account that I use. My scalp account is my challenge account. So, you know, out of everything that I have, not a lot of it is active, and whatever is active is very like long-termish. Next bull market top prediction for BTC. Good question, Vlad. That's tough because all right, let me kind of go over, like, when it comes to stuff like this, like I always have two different ideas going. One of them is more of like the human personality, like the more like, you know, actual person that you guys are talking to me right now. I have mixed feelings on certain things. I'm always willing to learn, adopt new ideas. What I look for can change. I also have the other side of me, which is basically the technical side, which is just strictly AVCs. I don't care for anything else. I'm pretty dead set in my ways when it comes to that side of my brain. So I'll give you guys both sides. It's tough because I don't know exactly where I want to like draw, because like I kind of have to count this in a certain way. It really depends, because this could be, I don't know. I would say, I'll give you this. I'll say this, Vlad. If I want to use this as an example, I like to do something like this according to the book. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of doing this, but sometimes I like to draw and just see where the calculations line up. Yeah, that's too much for me. Now, I only use trend, what is that, fib extensions? Yeah, trend-based fib extensions for just to ballpark things. Because according to the ABC method, it usually goes by your A wave plus the percentage of the B wave equals the target for the C wave. Now, if if this is assuming this is my A to my B, the 1-to-1 showing 385,000. I think that's a terrible, like, I think that's way too much. Let's do something like this. I'm just kind of ballparking to see. Yeah, again, see, that's too much for me. I don't know. I would say I would like to see BTC come up to like 100 150k, maybe a little bit more. It really depends on how, if we can get a much larger extended bull market, bear market, something like that, I'd be a lot more willing to say higher. If we come in and put in another high, maybe this is just 1A to a B to a C, to where we could get just a push to 100k and then that's it. But obviously, I know, like, looking at this, I know that this is an ABC. I know that this is some sort of ABC forming. I don't know if this is gonna be the bottom or we get one more low. That looks really good to me. So I'll say this. I'll say 100 to 200k. I'll give you like a range. I think 200k being the absolute, like, top, the upper range of that. But that's about it. Low balling, possibly. And if it goes higher, I'll be happy. Are you willing for BTC to go lower to DCA more? It depends. Me personally, yeah, I'll wait for lower. If not, I want to see it get back above 25 and I'll throw some in. If it can get back above 25, I'll throw some in. If not, I'll definitely be throwing some in on at least a test of 17,600. I just didn't know where that low was going to be at the time. Vlad, lowballing, I hope so. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know what I mean? I'd rather aim low and shoot past it than to aim high and not hit the target. 150k in 10 years. That's more reasonable, Tech Jungle. That's absolutely more reasonable. I would say, because I personally think how this is going to play out, if we don't get another bottom here, we're going to see some nice ranging price action first. I would say another year or two. And then you have, when's the BTC happening? All right, so according to the countdown, the next happening is about 500 days. So just about 2 years. March 20, 2024. So from there, that's when BTC kind of likes to have a more macro trajectory / like momentum to the upside. It's usually about a year after. So 2025, we can start the run. And then from there, I would say it's probably going to take a lot longer, because you guys got to realize, as price gets higher, you need more and more money to come in to push the price higher / stabilize that higher range or whatever the number is. And to me, like, there was so much money in this market back in, we were at 65k, and the fact that it couldn't hold, and obviously big money had a lot to do with selling off, the world conditions, the environment. There's a lot of different factors that came into that, to a more macro market change. So for me, there would have to be a metric ton of money coming in to even get to that higher number and sustain that. That's just my opinion, though. Obviously, you do have the supply and demand shock as well. That definitely plays a absolute factor into getting prices up here, and can definitely change the tide of where the market is going. But I still think we're a little bit of time for that. And I think now is a perfect time to start accumulating. If you guys haven't started accumulating, do it now. Start saving money, penny pinch. If you're willing to work get a second job, work more hours, start saving up. You know, if you guys want to trade and build that, I would say prioritize security and consistency. So don't be as aggressive as I am. Use a little bit of a less aggressive stop loss and accumulate into that account while you're trading. That's going to give you a lot more, I wouldn't say momentum. It's going to give you a lot more security and consistent growth over a longer period. Yes, the way I do this, you can definitely grow an account, but you can easily lose half of it just as fast as you doubled it. So keep that in mind. And I'd rather you guys not mess up and have a little bit to play into the bull run than to mess it up now and have price just pump on you and leave you behind. Tech Jungle, let's see, BTC to 12K up to 45K, back to 8K in range. Yeah, I can see that. I think I mean, I'm not sure if you trade the ABC strategy, Tech Jungle, but based off of what I see, you know, let's say what you just said played out the way I would see that happening is maybe this ABC was just 1A. You have one giant uptrend, a B retracement, some sort of continuation, absolutely in the cards. I think you're kind of dwindling into the area though that, like, when I zoom out, it's like a 12-hour time frame. Okay, maybe because like I like to compare structure sizes. Like if you're starting to build structures to where it grows bigger than this, I think you're starting to kind of go off track. But to me, I think this is a reasonable size in comparison to this. So you have this, and then you're comparing what you have that to this. So if you compare these two in actual sizes of structures, it seems fair. So Tech Jungle, I will give you that. Absolute possibility in the cards. I don't know. I have to kind of just play by ear and see what happens. It was a perfect storm for 70K. Institutions pumped into the market for under 25K crypto. Day traders, not sure where the money will come from to get us higher highs within 5 years. Absolutely agree. Playing falling, rising wedges with golden pocket zones. ABC's 100% played safe. Okay, I see. Okay. No, I absolutely agree with you, Tech Jungle, on that one statement. Institutions definitely, you know, putting money into this bull run. Definitely got people to buy into it. Also, the stimulus checks and all that stuff definitely helped price get up to this region up here. And it was just kind of the perfect setup. Obviously, from an ABC perspective, you could have pretty much nailed the top. But besides that, I 100% agree. It's going to take a lot more money and liquidity to get up to those very high regions and sustain it. Just sent you on Discord my bullish prediction for summer 2023. I'll take a look. Okay. Okay. So from like your perspective, I see exactly what you're talking about. You're looking at this more of like a double bottom. And like I mentioned this in previous videos, I'm almost aligning on the same page as you if it comes to the bullish side. I think it's going to play a little bit differently. If I'm not looking at it from an ABC perspective, I want to see this be like some sort of, why can't I fucking find some sort of Adam and Eve pattern, which I think is the most bullish pattern in Bitcoin history. It has definitely been the number one reason or number one market structure for bottoms. This is a reverse Adam and Eve. This was an Adam and Eve. So when I look at it from like that kind of lens, absolutely in the cards. If I see this playing out throughout, you know, as time goes on, I would definitely lean more bullish. So absolutely agree, Vlad. Definitely in the cards. I think you have to be able to play both sides and have a Oh, you want me to show it? Yeah, I can show it. What do you think? Tech Jungle, love your channel, bro. Keep grinding. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Here, I'll pop it up here in a second, Vlad. All right, so this is what Vlad sees. What do you guys think? But thank you, Tech Jungle. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. I think you subscribed a little while ago. Thank you for watching my content. Thank you for stopping and contributing, saying hello. But this is what Vlad's thinking. Double bottom, and we kind of play within these highs and create some sort of range. We kind of bounce absolutely in the cards. Oh, you meant to say you're lowballing. I thought you said I was lowballing. Okay. I like it. Make it happen. Let me. I'll call my market makers for you. Fortunately, I don't know any market makers personally. I know people who know people. Looks very optimistic. I think so. Like I said, I'm absolutely willing to look at both sides. So the ABC part of me wants to see another low. The other side of me says if Bitcoin pumps or continues to range where you form an Adam and Eve, I have to lean more on the bullish side. Not have to, but I'm going to lean more on the bullish side. Now let's sit here and go to like a 15 minute. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, I know some people definitely saw this. Just be careful because somebody did, someone did DM me and ask me. There's very similar situations like this. Like, I want you to kind of keep this structure in mind. Now, you had something like this too, where you did have a reversing ABC. It did come back down, but it easily just came right back above and formed a newer high. So almost the same situation here. You could have an ABC. This absolutely could be a temporary bottom. All right, this song is weird. So you could have a bottoming ABC here, and then but this can easily turn into an A. We kind of come up here and then continue down for another low. Kind of how similar to this played out, where you kind of have drawn out price action. And even here, it did give you a reversing signal, and eventually it just took a while, but it completed a larger ABC. Exact same thing can happen here. Let's see. Bearish prediction would be going to 14K. The head and shoulders from the high as a 14K as target. I would say 16K is amazing support though. I saw something. I like this area as a test or as a good region to test. And we're kind of in that region right now. So 16K is definitely in the low of that. From a, I don't want to say liquidity because I don't really like using those terms, but to me, this is a good area of support based off of prior price action over here. From there, if you want to look at like based off of local lows and kind of where price wants to go, I really don't see anything besides like that 13 to 11K region. So if price fills that, that's the next area of support I'm looking for. I'm actually going to save this. Guys, let's save this and see what happens. I'm not saying I'm no wizard. I'm not going to say we're going to absolutely go down those levels. I'm just curious to see what happens. Let's keep that there. All right. Time is at 8:03. All right, guys, like 10 minutes. So, any last closing thoughts, questions for me? If you guys are watching live with me right now, if you guys aren't in David Tech's Discord, definitely feel free to go check him out. He does a lot of indicators and automated trading. Not necessarily my cup of tea. I don't know anything. I think it's very interesting, and if I definitely will look into that at some point if I can find. It's more of like not a backup, but just like a secondary thing. So I definitely like being in his Discord. Definitely a lot of cool stuff going on there. A lot of cool people. Vlad also helps him. Vlad has been astounding and doing a great job between helping me out, getting me set up there, just contributing to the group as well. So Vlad, thank you for having me in the group. David, if you're watching this, same to you as well. I thank you so much for having me. I'm also going to be on there doing like a AMA kind of live session in there. I believe David is going to be live streaming that. Vlad, can you, I think in the banner, it was going to be on YouTube as well, right? If it is, let me know if you're still in here. If not, I'll just double check. But go check out David Tech's live streaming channel. He has a second one. And so if you're not in the Discord, you'll be able to watch that as well. Vlad, do you mind posting the channel link to that in the chat so everyone can tune in? I'll go ahead and pin it in the comments after David. Okay, David text. All right, so David Tech is doing it. Basically, he's gonna be live streaming his sessions with me, and I think there's 2 other guys who's gonna be doing those as well. Definitely go ahead, check that out. I will be on there tomorrow. Feel free to come by, stop by, say hi. Maybe if I can grab a question or 2 off a chat. From there, I'll definitely go ahead and answer your questions too. But I will be live streaming there tomorrow. Look forward to meeting everyone in David's group. Give me my first little Ask Me Anything session, so it's gonna be interesting. Definitely different than a live streaming setup or scenario. So I'm excited. Let me Joseph, I almost missed you. What's the most consistent strategy you found other than ABC? That's tough, Joseph. I almost want to say if there was a RSI trading strategy that we were kind of messing around with, and I kind of like that. Let me see if I don't remember exactly what time frame and what settings. Oh God, we were using. But I believe, yeah, like here, this would have been a good one. So basically, all you would do is go to like a 30-minute, and you would identify divergences. All right, and what you would do is you would highlight the area of divergence and highlight the area where price aligned to. And then as soon as that divergence formed, you would short the origin of that divergence. So it's almost like an ABC, but just slightly different. And that I kind of liked. It had its issues, but to me, that was better than trading. Like, let's see if I can find one here. So right here, yeah, so as soon as RSI crossed above or below, or if price did it first and formed some sort of divergence, you would trade that. In this case, you would short. The only problem with that is sometimes the divergences didn't print, and you would miss out on trades. So to me, that's like, as of what I've seen, like the second most profitable. Yeah, like here's another one. Well, I wouldn't say profitable. I think it's a little bit more consistent. It really depends on how you structure your trades. Here's one and here's one. So the divergence started here, and pretty much every time price get below there, you would short that until it played out, and then you would kind of play ranges from there. So if price failed there, you would if price failed there, you would look for a bigger take profit at the next local low, if that makes sense. Besides that, basically playing local highs, local lows, playing regions, trying breakouts, patterns. That's like the second best for me. Vlad, sorry, I know you answered this, or you asked this question. I didn't get to it. What's your opinion on trading with bots? In the end, manual trading, I'm gonna say will die. So to me, so it depends how you approach each. Now, I think algorithm trading, bot trading does have a place. It kind of, my thought and mindset on that, and it kind of lines up with the trading world, the manual trading world, is that everyone's looking for profitable settings, profitable bots. So what ends up happening is eventually too many people end up using the same bot, or let's say within a one bot with all these different combinations of settings. People want to know what the most profitable setting is, but the problem is, for me, what I've seen, it seems like when you have a bunch of people, or when you have a larger group of people all wanting the same settings and using the same settings, eventually it's not going to be profitable anymore. So in the end, you kind of have to go back and find new settings, but people just keep wanting to, instead of experimenting and willing to play with their own settings, a lot of people just want to copy and paste things. I not necessarily, I don't like, I'm not saying I don't like, or I don't hate bot trading. I just think it depends how you view it. So for me, what is the objective of bot trading? For me personally, if I were to do bot trading, it would be more of a passive income thing. It's something that is not my number one thing. Some people do treat it like it's a very important or very higher end way of making money, if that makes sense. They prioritize that, and to me, I think there's a lot of work that goes into that. And for me, I don't necessarily think it's the best route for me. Now, Vlad, if you can change my mind on that, or if David can change my mind on that, where you guys can, put something together and say, hey, you know what, this is what we got going on, I'd be completely open to changing my mind on that. That's just what I've seen, and I don't have that much experience in the bot world. I've done maybe for like 6 months. I just kind of looked into things. Never actually, what's funny? I forgot who. I don't remember the guy's name. I experimented with one bot, but the thing is, it was a Tradingview indicator thing, where when certain things would happen, you would program entries to go to Bybit. It was kind of that aspect was really cool. I like how you can basically, you can use APIs to link up with Bybit and it'll do the trades for you. Like I said, it's based off of indicators. I primarily don't like indicators in the way that I want to say this in a certain way, because I don't want to put anyone down. I don't want to say indicators suck. It's what mostly is what matters is the question of why you're using it and how you're using it. For me, what I've seen with most people when it comes to manual trading is that people use indicators and they use them as a primary if this and that statement, or they use it as a primary indicator when to take trades. Obviously, that's the point. And they also think that it creates some sort of edge in the market, that you're going to be able to outperform those who aren't using it. Well, the issue with that is that I personally think, and what I've seen is that when everyone is using the exact same set of indicators, it gets to points where it doesn't become an edge anymore, because everyone is using the exact same thing. You know who else uses the exact same thing? High rollers and whales. But they don't use it for the reasons that you might think they do. They use it to try to play against it, because they know they can move money more than anyone else in this game. And so it would make more sense to play against the indicator and play against the set of rules that most people use to benefit themselves. And that's all this game is. This game is just taking money from others, and it's basically you give. So when I'm winning trades, I'm taking from someone else. If I'm losing trades, I'm giving my money to someone else. So it's not the actual indicators and bots themselves. It's how you approach using them and why are you using them. It depends also as well. I know I know there's people, especially in the David Tech's community, you guys have your ABC indicator, you have ABC trading bots that you use. Fantastic. But me personally, my style, because I preach using a big perspective, using larger time frames, it gets a lot easier to identify very important pivots. And to me, I feel like people are trying to chase entries all day. People are more concerned about making a certain amount of profit than they are on focusing on levels that truly matter. So just like in trading, the manual trading world, in the bot world, people are going to be zooming into a 2-minute time frame, trying to take every single trade off of any single price movement that happens. And then that where the issue is that the little moves don't matter. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't have anything against bots. I just don't think that it's I don't think it's necessarily the best for what you're trying to achieve. For what a lot of people are trying to achieve is they're trying to make generational wealth. They're trying to make a lot of money in this game. I personally think you can use that as like a secondary to your, so like let's say you're a train. The main conductor for me in the trading world as a train is manual trading. If I want to take whatever extra money or cash I have left, I'll put that into a bot and I'll kind of let that do its thing. It's not a priority for me. So I definitely think it has a spot. It really depends on where you're coming from. And I can't sit here and give a objective, it's bad, it's not bad, or this is the best, this is not the best. It really depends on a lot of things. So I don't really like to give very objective statements like that. If it was me and you talking, Vlad, and it really depends on your scenario and what you got going on, I can't sit here and dictate. All I can tell you is what I think, and you can make a decision from there. I'm going on a very entire different rant, I feel like, and I apologize. That's what I call 3 a.m. wisdom. Yeah, and you just heard a 3 a.m. rant. I tend to do that a lot. I just go on tangents sometimes, so I apologize. I hope I made some sort of sense. I hope I didn't, veer too much off the path. But the RSI thing is pretty much almost, it's like a step under ABCs. Someone's using the same parameters, but you're looking at different things. Instead of focusing on the structure itself, you're focusing on what RSI is telling you. What time is it? Oh shit, 8:17. All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Actually I have a little bit of time, but I gotta start getting ready and stuff, so I need some time to do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for contributing, stopping by, saying hello, asking good questions, just stopping by, just watching. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the viewers. Like I mentioned before, if you guys aren't in David Tech's Discord, go ahead. I would suggest signing up. His information is, I'll leave a link to his channel. You guys can get more information if you want to join his Discord through there. It supports him, and if you're interested in learning ABCs, you guys have a platform to ask me there as well, as long as my own Discord. If you guys are interested in that, check out the Patreon link. You get access to tutorial videos. You get access to real-time calls from me. And I'm trying to build a community higher to the point to where, we can have, sessions like live streams like this where you guys can go in, ask me anything. Hopefully I can help you guys out the best I can. That's pretty much it. I'll just show you guys quick. This is the each short I talked about. I talked about this on the 12th. Here's the tutorial videos. I got to add more to this. I'm working on like putting together videos on how to approach, like how I approach certain scenarios, how to navigate it better. Just more of like, here's the information, and then the next section is going to be mostly examples. Hopefully help you guys put the pieces together. I also have a trading psychology section where I go over stuff that's important, that's not necessarily chart related or 100% chart related. Leverage trading, how to use proper risk management, all that, going over basic stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, I would appreciate you guys for supporting me. It supports the channel. You guys don't have to do that though. I stream here twice a week. You guys can ask me anything. I go over anything you guys want me to. So if you guys are interested, links in the description. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching, I would appreciate the sub as well. Go ahead and like the video, comment if you haven't. It would help me out. I really do appreciate that. So, closing thoughts. Oh, Vlad, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. I will talk to you tomorrow. Looking forward to tomorrow's session. I will see you then. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So if you guys are here, if I don't see you guys tomorrow on David Tech stream, I will definitely see you guys on. Probably we'll be back to Tuesday schedule. If not, I might change it to Monday, Friday, depending on what I got going on. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm gonna go ahead and leave David Tech's channel and his streaming channel in the description in case you guys want to check me out tomorrow. But until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Be good, be safe. I'll talk to you guys soon. I had a cool thing where I was gonna have a stream ending screen, but I messed it up. All right, I'm just gonna call it here. Cut it. 3, 2.